All the players in the education sector, it's official, your free paper bun. It's the start of the new school year for most institutions. Whether you walk, ride or drive to and from school, we encourage you to practice proper road usage. Students, use pedestrian crossings, walk in single file, and most importantly, do not play on the road, whether on your phone or with friends. Motorists, keep a special eye out for our children. Slow down when entering school zones and no overtaking. Hello and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry, your host for today's show. We have a lot in store for you, so please stay with us.
On our roads, remember, take time, be courteous, drive good, walk good. Part of keeping our roads safe is ensuring the vehicles we drive are mechanically safe, meeting all roadworthy requirements. And besides that, we must be good drivers and avoid risk-taking and sensation-seeking behaviors which are prone to causing road crashes.
Good day, I'm Tamara McHale and this is your GIS News for Monday, September 5. The 2016-2017 academic year got off to a smooth start this morning. Education Minister Senator Ruel Reid, who toured a number of schools in the corporate area, says all systems are in place.
I'm actually thoroughly impressed. From all accounts, all the reports I've had is very positive. I've been able to visit a couple of schools even before this one, all the way up to Pepin and the schools nearby, and they're looking very good. Principals are in place. Everything seems to be fine, and I'm very happy that the support of all the stakeholders, or boards, or principals, and our teachers, and then, of course, the ministry team have worked together to ensure we have a generally very smooth start to this new school year.
In the meantime, the Education Minister is calling for greater parental involvement and support this school year.
We have too many homes where there are no parents there to monitor our children. Children are where they ought not to be, are seeing things they ought not to see, going places where they ought not to go. We need to bring back strong morals and discipline. We need to become a disciplined society and country once more.
Minister Reid made the charge at the Jamaica Private Power Company's recent GSAT scholarship ceremony, where 9 students received scholarships totaling $2 million. And still on education, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is imploring parents to send their children to school whether or not they have all the fees required.
We have reintroduced the no tuition policy. We are not saying that education is free. But what we are saying is that every single Jamaican child must have access to education, whether or not they can afford it. So on this, the first morning of back to school, I encourage every single Jamaican parent, don't stay at home and say you can't afford it, you don't have it. Send that child to school. And if any teacher or any principal send back that child, you send them to me and let me deal with it.
The Prime Minister was speaking to students, parents and educators while on a tour of the Caenwood Primary and Junior High School in St. Andrew this morning. He wished all students and educators a successful school year. In other news, $567 million in productivity grant funding has been put in place by a consortium of government finance and trade agencies in collaboration with the World Bank. The Productivity Grant Fund project is designed to boost the impact that small and medium-sized enterprises have on Jamaica's economy by offering grant funding to these SMEs. It's being financed from a $50 million 6-year loan agreement between the World Bank and the Government of Jamaica. The key implementing agencies are the Development Bank of Jamaica, the Planning Institute of Jamaica, and JAMPRO. A series of workshops are now being held across the island to inform small and medium-sized entrepreneurs about how to benefit from the initiative. Meanwhile, a second, larger block of funds amounting to $1.86 billion will also be available for SME loans. This will provide funding and support to small businesses within multiple sectors. Public sector medical consultants have signed a heads of agreement with the government for the 2015-2017 contract period. The contract, which was signed at the Finance Ministry on Friday, gives the medical consultants a 4% salary increase over 2 years. It also provides for the specialist doctors to be paid outstanding sums from the 2008-2010 contract period starting in 2017.
We have decided that we are going to pay the doctors the first quarter of next year, the installment that is due. And we are going to look, and I want to put it no stronger than that. We are going to look at the possibility how the rest can be worked in a shorter time.
We are truly happy to be here to sign off on this 2015 to 2017 heads of agreement. It has been a long process of negotiation, sometimes a little bit bruising, but Minister, never rancor us, never rancor us.
Public sector medical doctors, dentists, veterinarians, and veterinary paramedics are the remaining groups of healthcare professionals to sign the heads of agreement for the 2015-2017 contract period. And finally, government will be receiving additional funding for the implementation of justice programs in Jamaica. The European Development Fund has committed 24 million euros towards the justice sector, while the European Union is investing 4.1 million euros in the Justice Security, Accountability and Transparency program from 2014 to 2019. In addition, the Canadian government is providing more than 20 million Canadian dollars towards the justice undertakings for social transformation program. Portfolio Minister Delroy Chuck says the support from Jamaica's international partners will help to advance the country's justice reform programs.
Since the inception of the Justice Reform Program, more than a decade ago, we have focused on activities to rehabilitate, renovate, and build new institutions in the justice system, including our courts, strengthen the institutional capacity of the justice system, and improve the capacity of civil organizations and representatives of the legal professions to participate in the justice reform process.
The Justice Minister was speaking recently at a justice sensitization session for community leaders. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thank you for watching.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Protect yourself from the bite of this mosquito. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness and his team at Jamaica House were fully engaged with the nation's business this past week. Catch the highlights next.
Prime Minister implores parents to send their children to school regardless of financial constraints. Jamaica's sporting development assured of government support, and Jamaica House Fellowship selection process started. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Simone Wolfe. Prime Minister Andrew Holness visited the Caenwood Primary and Junior High School in St. Andrew this morning as he marked the first day of the 2016-2017 academic year. He used the occasion to charge parents across the island to send their children to school despite any financial challenges they may be facing.
Today I stand here as I stood in Parliament, witnessed by the Minister of Education and all the children who are here and the parents. Send your children to school, even if you don't have the school fee. They cannot be turned back.
In today's world, sport is big business. And if we have this incredible talent pool, we must create the environment in which the talent pool can fulfill and self-actualize.
Prime Minister Holness was speaking on Sunday afternoon during a luncheon in honor of Wes Morgan and the national football team. Pointing out that sport creates an avenue for expression and the use of talent among our young people, he pledged government support for sporting development in Jamaica. The Prime Minister also had words of encouragement for the Reggae Boys, who were eliminated from the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers after losing to Panama Friday night.
We cannot give up on the Reggae Boys or any other sport for that matter.
Last week, the Prime Minister and a team of officials engaged representatives from Venezuela on a number of key energy issues, including Petrojam and the Kingston refinery upgrading project. Among those present at the high-level meeting were Energy Minister Dr. Andrew Wheatley and Head of Petrojam Winston Watson. During the past week, Prime Minister Holness also accepted a courtesy call from the Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, Dr. Wayne Henry, and his team. They discussed Jamaica's progress on the Vision 2030 and the way forward for achieving that goal. And finally, the Office of the Prime Minister has revealed that the Jamaica House Fellowship Program has started its selection process after receiving a total of 129 applications. Chief Technical Director Jacqueline Lynch Stewart explained that due to the overwhelming response, the selection process had been extended and would be finalized by mid-October. And that's how we close this week's Jamaica House Weekly. Join us next time for more of the news coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
They were heading home, playing in the streets just like they always did. When
I'll see you again.
My name is Sheldon Bell. I barely survived. My friend, she didn't. I'm now much more careful on the road. You should be too.
330 Jamaicans died in road crashes in 2014. 99 of the deceased were pedestrians. Road users, obey road rules. Walk, drive, and ride with care. Remember, road safety begins with you.
Hola, me llamo Taje. Let's have fun at school this year. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, shut the door. And let's learn new words like building. B-U-I-L-D-I-N-G. And vegetable, yum yum. V-E-G-E-T-A-B-L-E. Adios, amigos.
I know it must be hard to get back into the groove, following those carefree days of summer. With school and work back in full swing, now you have to get up early to beat the traffic. While we endorse productivity, we don't want you to jeopardize your health.
Breakfast is said to be the most important meal of the day. But how often have we been having breakfast? We've been skipping breakfast morning after morning. Do we really want to pass on this poor health practice to our children? I don't think so. So we've decided to get some help. The Grenville campus of the Nutritious NTA's Northwest TVET Institute has offered to render some assistance by giving us some quick and easy meal ideas that's fit for the entire family. Our facilitator today is sous chef Randy Plummer. Thanks for having us, Randy.
Hi Sandra, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Welcome to Grenville campus. Today we'll be doing some healthy, nutritious meals just to give parents and caregivers a workable example of what they can do in no time.
So before we get into business, Randy, why is it so important for us to have a healthy breakfast?
Well, it's important to have a healthy breakfast because throughout the night, the body loses all the nutrients that it would have gotten in the day. And what the breakfast does now, it introduces new nutrients to the body, giving the body energy so you can carry out given tasks throughout the day. Also, studies have shown where students or children who have healthy breakfasts, they tend to concentrate better in school or at their work.
Some of us parents can hardly find time to send our children to school on time. much less cook meals in the mornings. What do you recommend?
Well, there's a whole lot of easy breakfast ideas. Simple thing, just as a boiled egg with some tomatoes, introducing protein along with vitamin C. Another example, oatmeal porridge with raisins. Oats is a good source of fiber. Raisins a good source of vitamin C also. So there are many ways that you can do simple dishes that doesn't take much time.
Okay, so with that said, let's get started.
Okay. Welcome to our kitchen. Today I have assisting me, Sapphire. We're doing some easy breakfast meal ideas. The meals are so easy to prepare, so you can have your children assist you. Today we'll be preparing mackerel croquettes. The ingredients are mackerel, escallion, mixed vegetables, red onions, and white onions. Also, we'll be using the breading process. The ingredients for the breading process are flour, egg wash, and breadcrumb. For children who suffer from celiac disease, instead of using our regular breadcrumb, you can use the gluten-free breadcrumb. So what we'll be doing now is basically adding all our ingredients and mixing them together. So first we'll add the sweet potato. And sweet potato is rich in iron and potassium. We'll add the mackerel flakes.
So Randy, how long does this meal usually take to prepare?
It doesn't take more than 5 minutes. So what I would suggest to parents who work and have no time to prepare the meals in the morning, prep all ingredients from overnight, put them in the fridge, and then go ahead and deep fry them in the morning. And that will take the most 3 minutes. So what I'll have Sapphire doing now is just mixing the ingredients for me. Okay, well done, Sapphire. We'll now add some eggs for binding. Just mix the ingredients thoroughly. What we're going to do now is make some mini balls. So just squash everything together. It's almost the size of a golf ball. So we then coat it in flour, then egg wash, then breadcrumb. Sapphire is going to help me make one of the balls. Take up a small amount, squash it together. Squash it. Squash it with your hands like that. Squash it and just gently roll it. Okay, well done, Sapphire.
Okay, and how many of these balls do you usually recommend?
Normally for age group 5 to 11, I would recommend 8 ounces. So you're looking at about 4 to 5 of these balls. And portion control is very important because the correct portioning of food alleviates obese children. You have a whole lot of obese children all across the world, and overeating is one of the main factors. And now we'll move to the fryer. We're going to fry these croquettes until they are golden brown. And this should take no longer than 2 to 3 minutes. And the taste is very great. So the mothers and single mothers who have a short period on their hands to prepare breakfast in the morning, this is one of the easier way to go. And it's very nutritious. As you saw, we had a lot of vegetables in there, along with the mackerel that is rich in omega-3. You know, omega-3 is good for heart health. It prevents against heart disease. If you are a vegetarian, you can use veggie chunks or veggie mince.
Quick and easy to prepare and also nutritious. Don't they look nice? Wow, this is really good. Come here now, help yourself.
nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
This next feature is for those parents who worry about their little ones' nutrition as they head to school for the first time.
It's a long-held belief that a healthy child is a better student, and a big part of children being receptive to learning and meeting their developmental milestones is a well-balanced diet. We support that notion, and so we've enlisted the help of Charmaine Edwards, head of the nutrition unit in the Ministry of Health, to give us some useful pointers on how to make the first few years of our toddler's education productive. Charmaine, so happy to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
A lot of toddlers, when they're making the transition from home or daycare into a full-fledged school, it can be a very unsettling experience.
Right.
So what kind of advice would you give in helping making that transition smoother?
Right. So the first advice I would give is not to use food to get these children settled. So don't offer food as reward. All right? Don't try to use it to calm their emotional state. They develop the wrong association for food. But in terms of eating, the first thing they do is refuse food. But I can tell you, when they're hungry, they're gonna eat. So we just need to ensure that they are having their proper nutrition. How will you know if they are? They will gain weight, they will grow well. If they're not gaining weight and they're not growing, we know that something is wrong with their nutritional status. What we have not mentioned so far, however, is their physical activity, because it's going to be key. Because obesity, and childhood obesity in particular, is becoming really important in the Caribbean and in the world in general. So we need to ensure that they are active participants. And with the sugar and so on, we need to watch dental caries. That's another part we tend to forget, but we need to ensure that the teeth are also healthy.
Okay. But as also a part of the nutrition, as we wrap up soon, is in terms of the fact that when they're moving on to a full-fledged school, the parent is not around all day. So even though they might give them their lunches, because I remember when I was younger, and my mom gave me like a bun and cheese, and when I went to school, I'd give it away.
Right.
So how can a parent ensure that their child at school is eating properly?
Right. And so it brings me to 2 points. The first one is going to be children share a lot. It's in their nature. So you might give away your lunch and eat somebody else's lunch. They are like that. So once all our caregivers are aware of the healthy options that are available, then you shouldn't worry too much. That's one. 2, most of these early child institutions have a structured program, and so they monitor what it is that the children are having. I know that the Early Childhood Commission has developmental officers, and they have inspectors that go around to ensure that they adhere to the standards that have been set. So I wouldn't worry too much in that setting. That is a more controlled setting, even than when you get to a primary school level per se, when the children are free to choose at that point. But children 3 to 4 are generally starting their independence. They want to feed themselves. And so the environment is controlled. So once the environment is controlled, then we shouldn't have to worry too much.
Okay. Any last tips?
So feed them in happy surroundings. Make eating a pleasurable experience for them. Experiment with them. Don't impose our likes as adults and dislikes on them. Let them make their own choices.
Thank you, Charmaine. So there you have it. Nutrition is a major part of a child's learning experience. So ensure your child has the right ingredients to grow and to learn.
Well, I dare to make a difference, and I dare to take a stand. Let me dare you to think of someone else who's in need of a helping hand.
The Office of the Children's Advocate is very aware that we have some parents who get particularly anxious at the start of a new school year. And so we really just wanted to share with you a few tips that you can utilize to help keep your children, especially the very young ones who are going out for the first time, nice and safe from sexual abuse. Parents need to recognize that the private parts, as we call them, or the genitalia, are regular parts of the body. And so in teaching your children about the forehead and the nose and the hand, you can also teach them the names of these body parts, because that does two things. It puts them in a position to speak about these parts when something is going wrong, and it also tells them that even though they are private parts, it's not too private to talk about, particularly with a parent. Children need to know that there should be no secrets between them and their parents or guardians. Oftentimes, when persons want to abuse children, they tend to encourage them to keep a little secret. You know, this is between me and you. But from very early, parents need to establish with their children that the lines of communication are open. Mommy and daddy, or auntie and uncle, or whoever is the responsible adult in that child's life, can actually have a discussion, age appropriate of course, about anything at all that may be troubling the child. The third tip is that parents need to cultivate throughout the child's lifespan that environment whereby the child feels comfortable to speak. Conversation should not be off limit, topics should not be taboo, and you really need to get to a stage whereby you have teachable moments, we call them. So we see a lot of things reported in the newspapers, sometimes on the nightly news, and we can use some of these instances of horrible things that are happening to other children to start little discussions with our own children to give them tips as to how they can avoid or prevent, perhaps completely, any such reality happening to them. For these tips, and of course any other information that deals with children, that is anyone under 18 years, please feel free to contact the Office of the Children's Advocate. We're at 72 Harbour Street, downtown Kingston, and our numbers are 948-1134, or website www.oca.gov.jm.
Well, I dare to make a difference, and I dare to take a stand. Let me dare you to think of someone else who's in need of a helping hand. But if I
And that's our show. We hope the information we provided was useful and contributes to making your life easier. If you have any topics you'd want us to discuss, email us at jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. We're also available through our website and on our social media platforms such as YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And be sure to download our app for Apple and Android devices. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.